Good evening. Welcome to Bent TV. Thank you for watching. Tonight, Ginni concludes her Los Angeles recorded interview with Grammy Award-winning artist Sirah. We then present a new segment hosted by Mark Hadden called In Leather. And to conclude tonight, we have Q Sport. Tonight, Melbourne Chargers and the Melbourne Rovers.
So, after a wonderful 2 weeks in New York City, I flew to the West Coast to sunny Los Angeles. It's a city of sun, shopping and celebrities with award winners everywhere you look. Meet Sirah, a Grammy Award-winning rapper with a fascinating story.
I mean, I'm just blown away at the fact that you had this sort of upbringing where you were living out of cars, you were living in the jungle, you know, you were living with sawdust or eating it for breakfast.
Eating it, yeah.
And then, you know, Skrillex's like, hey, I want you to rap, and then bang, there's a Grammy.
Yo, that is
Bang-a-rang.
crazy. Bang-a-rang Grammy. I like what you're doing. This is good. You're going to be on my team forever. Bang-a-rang. I don't even, honestly, I don't know. Skrillex actually literally wrote to me. I'd been booking my own tours while I was living in these things.
Yeah.
So I was on tour in Romania. I booked a tour in Romania. Very weird. And so he wrote me mail on MySpace when I was in Romania. And I'm like, who's this kid with my hair? Oh. And so that was kind of it. Like, I got back to New York. And then I didn't have anywhere to go in LA, so when I came back, I moved in with him and a bunch of our other friends into the artist lofts downtown.
Wow.
And that's how we started making music. I would be like writing rap music in a corner, and he'd be like, oh, rap that into my laptop. And I was like, all right.
And that's what you did?
Yeah, and we all lived in like 2 lofts that were literally the size of like not half of this room, like a quarter of this room.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great time, but totally random. I mean, it's so weird how the moment, you know what I mean? Like, you never know the moment, and you're like, what? That's weird.
It seems your life, you've had all these random moments, and you've just had the strength and the courage and the tenacity to just ride it through. And, you know, you've gone from jungles to cars to, you know, quarter loft studios, living in there, and then you know, you got a Grammy. But the fascinating thing that I find is, from your background, you also do some life coaching as well.
Yeah.
On top of everything else that you do
Yeah.
and you've gone through. But, you know, from what you've gone through to where you've gotten to, I mean, that's an inspiring story.
It's incredible. I'm actually really impressed with it myself. Truthfully. You know what I mean? Because I think, like, even with all the other stuff that happened that's not on the, you know, blogs or the internet, it's like, for all intents and purposes, like, I should not be able to function.
Yeah.
But I do anyway, because, like, bumblebees, right? They're incapable of flying. It's aerodynamically impossible for bumblebees to fly, but they do anyway, because they don't know they can't fly.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's, like, who I am. Like, I'm like, wow, I didn't know I couldn't do that, so I did it.
Yeah.
You know, but it is crazy to me, because you know, it's like, I don't know, when you look at all those times when crazy things were happening, I was like, what is life? So it's like amazing now to me to like see where it's all gotten. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like, I'm impressed with it because I'm like, wow, life is really incredible.
Grammy that you won a couple of years ago. There's so many artists out there that hit multi-platinum, they'll hit, you know, gold, but they'll never actually win a Grammy. You achieved that, I mean, 2 years ago. And you're quite young. I think you're, what, 26? 21.
2016?
Yes.
Am I proud of you? I always tell people, I'm like, I wish I was 14, because then I'd be like a prodigy. Like, I've always been better, like, when I get older at things. Like, I'm not, like, you know, there's, like, mad young kids now, and they're like, I'm 14, and I play everything, and sing and dance, and I'm beautiful. And I'm like, not my story. Not my thing.
Not your hood.
No, I just want to tap dance, but, you know. No, yo, that was crazy, though, because I never thought, like, everyone's like, you didn't look really, like, nervous at the Grammys, and I'm like, it's so, like, I'm like, oh, I'm at the Grammys, and I want a Grammy, okay? and the speech was awful. I was like, guys, this is a Grammy, and then everyone was just silent. I'm like, okay, all right, cool.
Enough said.
And as Skrillex is talking, I don't even know what I was thinking. Obviously, I wasn't. I, like, slide it over while he's talking and, like, touch it. Like, I'm like, what?
You know, you gotta make sure that shit is real.
Yo, I'm
gotta
from
make
the hood.
sure.
I'm
Exactly.
like, what? I'm gonna touch it.
Exactly, and you can put it back in your bag.
Yo, she takes it from you. Yo, she takes it. I was like, you're gonna have to kill me. She's like peeling my fingers off, and I'm like,
That's yours, though.
yeah, I was like, very.
That's actually mine.
Yeah, I'm like,
Thank
no,
you.
you didn't get that. You didn't get it. People made fun of me. Like, it's all over. Like, there's memes where they're like, that's mine, Skrillex. Like, where I'm like fighting him for it, because I think I was yelling at one point. Like, I don't know. But I was very like, it was surreal.
Yeah.
And then the FedEx dude, like, delivered it to me, like, 2 months later, so I'm, like, in my pajamas with, like, one dreadlock, and he comes to the door, and I'm like, what? Oh, man! He's like, what? I'm like, I think that's a Grammy, dude. He's like, no, open it now! So we're, like, me and the FedEx guy.
Yeah.
He's like, can I take a picture with it? I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
This is how you make your friends.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a FedEx guy. Getting a picture with my Grammy.
Yo, he was like, I've never delivered one. I'm like, I've never won one. What? Go ahead. I don't know. Take it on the truck. Let's go around with it. Take it on the town.
That is amazing, because a lot of, people who win a Grammy get photos with other Grammy winners. Yours was with the FedEx guy.
Yeah, me and the FedEx guy. That was my moment.
The LGBT community, I mean, you've got an awesome gay and lesbian centre, which you actually volunteer at.
Yes, and I love it. I mean, I feel like Los Angeles is super fortunate in terms of, LA, New York, like, super fortunate because there's so much consciousness here.
Yeah.
It's very evolved, and it's actually funny because, a lot of my friends are gay, a lot of my friends are, across the spectrum.
Yeah.
Which is why I love that campaign, We Are You. We were talking about that. But, spectrum, like, there's no titles even. It's actually weird when people are straight in LA. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are like, what?
Yeah.
Like, even with me, I'm straight, but everyone's like, really? I'm like, I know, I got power tools, I'm just out,
Steel caps.
Yeah, I got steel
You've
caps.
got, like, the most lesbian shoes on.
I know. Yo, everything about me is generally low-key lesbian, except my sexuality, but other than that, I'm like, yeah, I've owned
Low-key lesbian.
weapons, I own power tools, I make things, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just out here.
You just added, like, a new...
Add that to the end.
Because it's like, this is the lipstick lesbian, your ultra-feminine lesbian, then you got your tomboy, and then you got your bull-dyke lesbian. Like, the
I'm
low-key
on the low-key lesbian spectrum. You know what I'm saying? I made it up. Add it to the LGBT, IQ, NRA. We got it all. Let's go. I'm out here.
Keep up to date with Sirah by hitting up sirahmusic.com. This is Ginny signing off from Bent TV.
Hi, I'm Mark Hadden, and this is In Leather, the show for the leather community in Melbourne and Australia. And today I've got with me in the studio two of Vic Leather's finest. I've got Andrew Lovett, the Vice President. Hi Andrew, how are you going?
Good, thank you, Mark.
And I've got Steve Oerles from Vic Leather as well, who's a committee member.
Thank you very much. How are you?
Good. Today I want to talk about Vic Leather, and where did Vic Leather come from? Andrew?
Well, Vic Leather came from the community. We're a community-based organisation run for the community, by the community. We've been operating for about 3.5 to 4 years. Where we came from was a group of people here in Melbourne felt we needed an organisation that was run for the community, by the community. So a friend of mine, Nathan Neeson, just got a bunch of people together and just started discussing what we kind of wanted this organisation to look like, and then we got kind of support from different members of the community, the leather businesses and the bars, and we became incorporated about 3 years ago, and we're a committee of 9. So where did we come from? We came from the community.
From the community.
Yeah.
Steve, could you tell me a bit about the makeup of the club and who is involved, and what sort of members do you attract?
We attract a lot of different styles of members. I guess a good place to start is with the actual committee. We're mixed male, female. no sort of 50-50. It just varies depending on who's been voted in the last elections. As for our members, we're open to anyone so long as they're pretty much over the age of 18, just because we do go to places that sell alcohol, and we prefer to keep it legal. Men, women, gay, straight, bi, trans, unsure, pretty much anyone who wants to come along and join can. I guess our requirement is that they have some sort of like or desire for leather, or at least fetish of some description. There's a lot of different fetishes out there, so a lot of people dress in a large variety of styles, whether it be rubber, corsets, neoprene, leather, of course.
Can you expand on that a bit, Andrew?
Yeah, people of our organisation may be there because they love of leather, but they also love other things like rubber, neoprene, sports gear even. That's a bit of a fetish for some guys. Soccer gear is coming in very big knee-high socks. Even football gear, Australian rule football gear is considered a bit of a fetish.
Tradie gear.
Tradie gear. Love me a bit of tradie gear.
Yeah.
So it really depends. We are kind of like open to any and all, as long as you enjoy wearing what you like to wear. Yeah.
So you get together, and what's a general meet like? I mean, what sort of things are discussed?
Sure. Well, the people when we get together once a month, we have a monthly get together, which we have called Gear Up. When we get together, it's a bunch of people wearing their gear. We meet at the Yorkshire Hotel in Abbotsford. It's a pub. It's got a TAB, a restaurant. So generally, it's not it's a nice kind of affair. We don't really wear chaps or have any kind of naughty bits showing really. We're there with the general patrons. So generally, what's discussed is people just wearing their gear. So they might be wearing a leather shirt or some leather pants, even just a vest, something just, so it's kind of like a little bit more casual. What's discussed is kind of like the events that we have coming up. Where we might, we have a lot of events that we either do ourselves or that we promote on behalf of other organisations.
And talking about other organisations, how's the leather community fitting into the queer community within Melbourne? I suppose do you guys have sponsors and stuff like that gets involved with Vic Leather, and how do you fit in with the rest of the community?
We have a lot of people who cross between different styles of groups. We have a few people who are members that are actually part of Vic Bears. There's also a couple of other sort of smaller groups that are members with us as well as with other groups. There's another one, I think it's called Chains. I can't remember what Chains stands for, but it does mean something. They're a different style of group, but we also have some of their members are our members. So it's just that because it's such a unique community, there's a lot of crossover between the different variances of styles of clubs. In regards to sponsorship, Eagle Leather is one of the leather companies that we deal with, Lucretia and Dessard also.
The Laird?
Yep, Laird.
Yeah, well, in fact, one of my first times I went to a leather event was at the Laird, and it was the meet and greet.
Oh, fantastic.
Which was a great event. Get down there, meet the different guys that are involved. And of course, being Laird is usually a men's only space.
It is.
But on that occasion, it was actually a mixed event. So we allowed women to get there as well, which was very, very good. Yeah,
the Laird are very good to us. They don't get very many opportunities to open their doors up to women. So they were very kind to us and gave us one of their spots. And so we try and do meet and greet once a year at the Laird.
Yeah. What other sort of events do you have on during the year?
We like to throw a big party as a thank you to our members and our supporters, which is called Black Ball. It's generally towards the later part of the year in November. And so Black Ball is a dance party where we encourage people to come out, have a bit of a dance, have a bit of a mingle in gear if they can. If not, then we encourage like a black dress code. But we get a really good cross section at Black Ball.
Yeah, in fact, the last Black Ball was my first, and it was a great event, I have to say. You had some great DJs, and it was just a really good feel down at the club that we were at.
It was a great party, that one. Very good.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
And what about the any other events that you've got during the year?
We generally do. We have a presence at Midsummer. We've just had. We had the Midsummer Carnival, and we also marched in Pride March as well, where we marched along with our leather pride flags, which is fantastic because we had a lot of people coming up to us asking what our flag meant and who we are. The leather pride flag is quite kind of unique, really. So that was great for great exposure and people asking us who we are and what we're about.
That's fantastic. If people want to get involved, is there a website that they can go to?
Definitely. We are www.vicleather.org.au.
That's fantastic. All right, thank you very much, Andrew and Stephen. And this has been In Leather, and we'll catch you next time on Bent TV.
Thank you for staying with Bent TV. Please visit our website, Twitter, YouTube channel and Facebook to find the different ways you can support Bent TV, provide feedback and become involved in supporting Bent TV. Back after this break.
I'm Dan, president of the Melbourne Chargers. Melbourne Chargers are a rugby club in Melbourne. We were founded in 2009. It gives a place for people who want to join rugby union but have played it before but stopped because of homophobia in sport, gave up because they had too much time, didn't have enough time, and or just want to come down and have a go. So quite a lot of our club, some have played rugby the whole lives, some are brand new. I started rugby last year, and it's one of the best decisions I've made in my life.
Fantastic. And so what sort of variety of people would come along to a Chargers session? Who does the club cater for?
The club caters for game days. It's mostly men anywhere between 18 to some of the oldest guys are in their early to mid 40s. But the club's open to anyone. So we have an alignment with the Melbourne Unicorns. They're our host rugby club, and they have a women's team. So we're quite aligned to them. We have sponsors sponsors and supporters range from quite diverse backgrounds. So anyone who wants to come down and support, everyone has a place to play. Everyone has a place in our club.
Fantastic. And you said that you're aligned with the Unicorns, and women can come along and join in a training session?
Oh, of course they can. So for us, we have a Rugby 101 day on February 7th, and we're heading to women and to guys that want to come down and have a great time. The women's team play throughout the year, and they're very strong and have a really good presence. Two of their women went to the World Cup and played for Australia, so they're a really good time. So.
Fantastic. How does a person's level of ability for the sport affect their ability to join the Chargers?
It doesn't. So we are open. Anyone who's never picked up a rugby ball beforehand, who need to understand that you have to throw backwards, like I was on the first day, they can come down and learn it at their own pace and have a great time with a bunch of great guys.
And what opportunities exist for people to join who may not wish to play?
They can come down. They can more than happy to participate in all of our training. We're a very strong social calendar, and we have a lot of events for our supporters. So if they don't want to play but want to participate and help out on days, or just want to come down and have the social side, they're more than welcome as well.
And for people who may not be up to a certain standard, do you provide mentoring or coaching for people to get up to the standard that you would accept at your training sessions?
Of course. So if you've ever picked up a rugby ball, come on down. We have quite a few coaches, and they are more than happy to help out, to set you up from getting a curriculum to learn how to throw a ball, to tackle, to being in a scrum, to running on the wing. It's just, as long as people want to participate, they're more than welcome to come on down.
And why did you join the club, and what has being a member of the Chargers meant to you?
I joined because I am 6'2" and weigh 105 kilos. So my PT said, you have the build for being a rugby player, and that's come true. What it's given me is camaraderie, friendship. Playing in the Bingham Cup last year when we won the Bingham Plate, it was a great opportunity to put in hard yards and seeing it come to fruition. And it's just the best decision of my life.
And how can somebody find out more about the Melbourne Chargers?
So we have a Facebook page, search Melbourne Chargers, melbournechargers.org is our website, and we have Twitter feeds, Instagrams. If they want to come down and just check out our websites, that'd be great.
Okay, we're here to talk to another sports club. We'd like you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the background of your club and what your club is.
So my name is Heath Wilson and I'm the president of the Melbourne Rovers. The Melbourne Rovers is Australia's only gay and lesbian soccer club, or also known as a football club, in the nation. And we've been around for the last 7 years.
And over that 7 years, how has the club evolved?
So, I mean, we've expanded into various competitions. More people have been joining the club, and we've also been building, gay and lesbian soccer in Australia through the support of some Sydney teams also.
And so you said the club's been growing. So who does the club actually cater for in terms of your potential membership?
So anyone that hasn't played soccer for a long time, or are interested in playing soccer, or potentially have never played before. So we cater to a wide variety of people of various skill levels, and we're all inclusive environment, so anyone can come and play.
Well, what if I've never played soccer before, but I've got inspired by the World Cup or the Asian Cup because, Aussies are doing really well?
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. So we've got, for those starters, we've got some social soccer that happened on the weekend, and also just a midweek kick around. And also, if you're wanting to finesse those skills or get serious, we have training during the week also for our winter competition. So people can come along and train along.
Okay, so you've got different sessions for different skill levels, or all at the same time but separated around?
All at the same time, separated around. So people, depending on their availability, can come and join pretty much whenever they like. It's all inclusive, so it doesn't really matter about your skill level. It's a very supportive environment, so it works well.
Okay, so are there set nights of the week and the weekend where you train, and where do you train?
So our winter base is up in the north in Clifton Hill, and during the summer we're based out in South Yarra on the weekends. But we play, depending on which division and area we're playing in, we can play wherever in Victoria or metropolitan Melbourne.
Okay, so here's a hypothetical. I get a bit excited, I want to join the club, but I'm a real rookie and I'm a bit nervous. Maybe I've never played a team sport before, and I've had a bad experience when I was a kid at primary school not getting picked in the team. Like, how does the club help support someone like that or mentor them through that process in the first couple of months?
So, I mean, they can come along to training. I mean, it's not, as I mentioned, it's inclusive, so there's no high pressure when it comes to training and getting involved to build up that confidence. And, the great thing about the Melbourne Rovers in the women's or the men's team, or if they're combined during the summer period, is that it's really supportive and a great bunch of people who are willing to help out. So it's always good to be able to get some new pointers.
Okay, and what kind of, if I'm, the opposite side of it, I'm really hyper competitive and I want to get involved in, competitive football or soccer.
Yep.
Do you cater for someone like that as well?
Yeah, so I mean, the most serious comps we have run in the summer and the winter comp. So if people really want to get in there and play the 11-a-side outdoor comp in the winter while it's pouring rain and mud's flying everywhere, they can get involved in that and come along to training once or twice a week. So,
right. So, tell me about your history, how you got involved, and what being part of the club Rovers has meant for you.
So I've been around the club since its inception, and I'm very lucky to have one of my mates who set up the club from the initial days back in 2008. And so I've been playing every year since then, which is awesome, and I really love it, and it reignited my passion for soccer as a player. I hadn't played since high school, so I'd had a good 10-year gap between playing the round ball that I love so much. So, I was able to get back into it. The great thing about, playing for Melbourne Rovers, whether it be in the winter or the summer, is, the nice people you get to meet, the all-inclusive environment and supportive club that we play for. So.
Okay, so you've sold me. How do I find out more about Melbourne Rovers? I want to sign up.
You want to sign up? Well, you can Google Melbourne Rovers. We've got a website, or you can check us out on Facebook. That's the most up-to-date and keeps us across what's going on a weekly basis around soccer and what's happening in Melbourne.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for watching. My name is Gavin Henderson. Please visit our website, YouTube channel, Facebook to keep in contact and support Bent TV. Bye.